through the dam?
I think we do the damn hundreds of times.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do it every weekend,
Oh, really?
you know? And every Wednesday, then when the board had it, we did it. Usually every Thursday night, we do it again, Thursday night, it's a 5-hour cruise. We try to get them all in the fall.
If you want to go through the dam now, you only have two choices. You can bring it up when you get back.
Yep, that's it. Let me know if you're ready. Okay, let's bring the meeting to order. Start the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Blue,
Here.
Happy,
Excuse me.
Fallon,
Here.
Farrell. Here. Miller,
Here.
Wood. Here. Mayor Cranlett.
Here. Additions or amendments to the agenda?
We have none.
Okay, adoption of the consent agenda. Approval of September 12, 22 city council minutes and ratification of bills in the amount of $281,435.84.
I move to accept the consent agenda as stated.
I say,
Okay, move to second. Approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And do roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call. Roll call here.
Councilmember Blue,
Here.
No.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Oh, roll call for the vote. I'm sorry. I was like, I could have swore I already did that. I am here though.
That's everybody else.
Fallon.
There she goes. Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Miller,
aye.
and Wood.
That's good.
Aye.
Mayor Cranlett.
Aye. Okay, that passes. Public hearing.
We have none.
All right. Action on appointment to committees.
We have none of those.
All right, approve employment contract for city administrator.
Well, after your deliberations in the last couple of weeks, we negotiated a contract with Mr. Jordan Bennett. You have the copy of the contract in here, the city attorney has worked through all of it, and we're good to go. We've approved the contract.
I have a question, Your Honor. Under section 3, the termination and severance pay.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing some, whenever I read it, I don't see why we, the second paragraph, because in the event employment and this agreement are terminated after the 6-month probationary period by the council without cause, the city agrees to pay employee a lump sum cash equivalent to 2 months salary for each year or partial year as severance not to exceed 6 months. So I don't see where that makes a lot of sense, because
Let me explain it to you. So if you work through it for 6 months and you decide not to keep it, you owe him 2 months severance.
yeah, but we go on to a year and all that.
I'm sorry, but no, what, and then if he stays, first year he gets 2 months, the second year he gets 4 months, the third year he gets 6 months. After that third year, he's limited to 6 months severance. It's the if you fire him, that's the cost the council has to do.
Is that standard in all of?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a little more accelerated. I had offered him 1 month severance for every year or partial year. And he goes, no, I gotta have 2. And if you don't fire him, it doesn't cost you a thing.
And if he winds up quitting on us or wanting to resign on us, is there anything for the
There's no
city?
severance because you have to fire him. He just quit.
Right. And it just seems real extreme.
It's not typical. I mean, if you come in with my experience, it would have been a year's severance. But I just did 6 months. And again, it's just during the probationary period. Yeah, if he's doing it
But his probationary period is 6
after,
months.
yes, after 6 months, and then if you do it after that without cause, then you owe 2 months severance.
And then we're gonna multiply it with,
Every completed year.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that money comes from.
Uh,
That's a lot of money,
It's,
especially if you gotta have another city administrator and pay the severance package.
severance is normal. It's an every.
I know, it might be normal, but I'm saying it's a lot of money.
Well, true. And the reason it's a lot of money is to make you think twice about firing anybody
Without cause.
without cause.
Well, I get that, but where we have someone that has, some challenges as far as experience, there is a high chance that he may not work out, and then we are looking at this.
Yeah, but
We were willing to,
if you have cause, there's no severance. If you don't have cause, if you don't like the color of his hair, I can say that, right? You know, you can fire him.
We can't fire him for that.
You
Yeah.
can't fire him for that, but you pay him 2 months there.
Yep.
If he violated some law, there's some cause,
as
then
long as we have a cause, then you're saying that we do not have to.
that's correct.
And there's no argument on what our cause would be.
It has to be some kind of legal cause, it has to have some.
Well,
kind of
yeah, of
fair.
course.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it because of his hair.
If we just didn't like the direction that he was taking the city,
Yeah.
that might be a reason for without cause. It would cost us severance.
But you also.
Yeah. But I don't wanna get into an argument like, well, you may feel it's not cause and we do, and then we're in this little thing going too.
You always have that
Like that.
opportunity. The real issue here is, we included a clause in there, so before you get to that state, talk about it. You know, have some dialogue with them. that,
Yeah.
You're not doing well, or we think you're doing great here, but we want you to work harder here. Have some dialogue as a council, and that's gonna prevent any of that stuff happening. Good question.
And then I have another one. Do you want me just to keep going, Your Honor, or you wanna have another
Well, I'd
question?
like to have a motion, so if we have a motion, then we have to really work on this thing. Then you can have all the questions you want.
I love the motion.
Yeah,
Get
let's
it out
get a
there.
motion going here and then. Can't act on anything unless we have a motion.
Your Honor, I move to approve the city administrator employment agreement with Mr. Jordan Bennett.
A second?
Okay, it's been moved in second to approve
Kathy and Cameron second.
the city administrator.
You gotta do one call for that?
With Mr. Jordan.
I think we still have room for discussion.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
discussion.
what it is. All it is, moved in second, now we're in discussion. There you go.
So my next question is under section 4 salary. I'm quite disturbed and wondering where the city is coming up with $10,000 pay raise in the first year. That's a lot of,
That's what you advertised.
No.
no, we put a range and then we,
Started 90 to 110.
yeah, I know,
And
but
so we negotiated, we started at 80 with him. And he wanted a 90 after 6 months. And I said, no, we're not gonna go that much. So I put in 85 after 6 months and 90 for the second year of his contract, which is what the council had approved.
what? I mean, I know we put a range out there for independent on experience, but we didn't talk about the pay raises at any meeting that I was in unless I'm totally just in
No,
the
but
dark.
you gave me the opportunity to negotiate the contract and that's
And came in below what we
below
approved.
what you.
I get that, I understand that, but I'm thinking a $10,000 pay raise just so this council is where I think that's a lot. I know it's a lot where, and I, you know, and I worry about our budget and stuff and, you know, all that, and then,
Well, just to give you a little bit of comfort, even at the 80, 85, 90, you're still below the 110,000 that's in the budget.
I understand that, however, qualifications and stuff like that is why we offered less, not because he was qualified and we were gonna do these pay increases. I mean, I'm concerned with that. And then on, section 6.
We're capping it.
Oh, okay, you want me to keep rolling and
Keep
then?
going and
Okay.
come back to
On section 6, the hours of work, I understand there's a lot of outside work and all that, but where it's just open-ended, like it really doesn't say what we expect. As far as, I mean. So that one, and then under section 9, the vacation and sick leave. 80 hours after each year of the contract. Is it,
Yeah.
do all
That's-
employees get 80 hours or just the city administrator?
The employees, the first year get 40, starting in the second year, second through fifth year, they get 80 hours.
Okay,
And then beyond that, it goes up 120. Captain, that's a question.
Just had a comment, but I know us as a, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Us as a council, we voted salary range between 90 and 110, is that right? So, and then given his experience, we agreed, to start him out lower, and so at the 80, so I don't have a problem with him being 80 to 85, then to 90. So I'm comfortable with that to kind of see how he does. We're completely within budget. We're actually, 20,000 under, actually more than that starting out. So I'm okay with spending that amount.
Okay, thank you. Any other,
yeah, I wasn't done. And then under section 11, retirement. It says the city shall pay his, the cities shall be responsible for payment of the employee portion of PERS.
Right, that is the policy that we've had in place. We pay for PERS for contracted employees.
All right, that's all I had.
It's worth acknowledging that everything you pointed out and said, that's a lot of money, you were spot on. It is a lot of money and we are doling out today for sure,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
and I understand
And,
it's all, we went with this range and all that, but I also understand we also had a criteria that we were looking for at that range.
I just want to say that I appreciate that we stop and reflect on these numbers, that they're actual real numbers.
Yes.
$90,000 is a real number and it is a lot of money, so.
Yeah, because
For sure.
how much is the portion of PERS?
Tier 1, I think is paying, it's in the budget, I think like 35%.
yeah, that's a bunch of words.
Yeah,
It
At
sounds,
least not tier 1.
it sounds as during this discussion, you've somewhat worked with him to negotiate this. So we feel like negotiation is over and we're looking for signatures at this point, or do we expect? Great.
Yeah, I think he will sign it tomorrow if you approve it tonight.
Well, I definitely appreciate your efforts. Coming back at 80,000 with the gradual step to 90 is more than we asked for, and I appreciate that.
mhm.
Okay, so I noticed that this is for 2 years, so probably in September of 2024, council is going to renegotiate his
Yes.
contract and.
Or give him an extension or, however he wants to approach it.
Okay,
To,
and
yes,
he'll be at 90,000 at that
it'll
time.
be at 90,000 at the end of that year.
Does city administrator get a cost of living increase every year?
You guys get pay
Thank
raises.
you.
You do not?
It's what he decides to put in the budget.
Understood.
We do not have any automatic.
We also have to realize that though it is a lot of money, the job's a lot of responsibility, especially since it's kind of twofold with us, since we have your utility involved.
And I totally understand that. I also understand that there's a lot of other things that the community members have concerns and needs and wants for as well. And if all of our money is going toward a city administrator, then policing and all that makes that a little bit harder to reach, where I understand that we will be saving money, you know. But, I mean, I just don't wanna go by without pointing that stuff out. That's a pretty good package.
It's a great thing to point out when you're talking about hiring the second or third highest paying job in Cascade Law.
Yeah.
It's worth reflecting on that fact. And
Yeah.
I think that we have, I think it's good. Like, I think that's good reflection. All the things you pointed out, absolutely worth notating. Yeah.
If he winds up being a great, I mean, great,
I
right?
think you will.
Yeah.
I think we gotta win.
Well, hopefully not.
I think we do.
I never know until
Yeah,
I've been there. And it's been off and on, and I've been, well, I've lived here.
yeah,
And I've seen managers
yeah,
come and go. We've had
yeah,
some good managers, we've had some managers that weren't.
So I'll be more clear. I think he has all the resources and tools necessary to be awesome.
Well, I
We'll see,
think,
we'll see, but I think he has everything he needs to be super successful.
I personally think that he has a counsel.
That certainly
that
helps.
will certainly hold his feet to the fire. So, and that is important. It's important to do that type of thing. Somebody comes on in, you hired him, and you want to make sure you need to stay on top of, that they're following through on the wishes of the council. So, yeah, so part of that comes from a good council, being able to, and part of that, and when I'm saying good council, I'm saying one that, you know, learn as much as they can about all the issues themselves, so that they're able to also help that person move the city along.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Yes, and yes, it is. Okay, any more questions? You have any more there, Kathy?
Oh, she's good.
Good. All right,
Good.
all,
We'll call.
oh,
Roll call.
whoop, roll call.
Councilmember Blue,
Aye.
Fallon,
Aye.
Farrell,
I,
Miller,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Mayor Cramlin.
Aye. Okay. So we should have a new administrator coming around.
when would it be his start date and stuff?
October 24th. And then I'll work with him for a couple of weeks and then I will.
Is there,
Disappear into the sunset.
can I ask, how come, is there been communication through email or something that I'm missing that I don't know, like dates and stuff and
No,
other
it's in
people
here.
say
It's in the staff report.
It's in here, oh, I
It's in the
haven't read,
contract.
okay, I didn't read that part, I was reading the money.
It's
Not the dates. Sorry.
not a bad route.
Yeah.
We'll get you answered.
Well, you got,
Thank you.
you got the date to check.
October 24th, he will start, will be his first council meeting. And I'll be here with him for that. 3 weeks to his next council meeting. I'm going to spend a couple of weeks showing him where the bathroom is and how to answer his phone. And those kinds of things. And so the week before the next council meeting, he will be putting together the agenda for the mayor and take on. Kathy has a question.
Kathy,
Just a question, Gordon, on, do you have like an exit plan, a timeline? Is it 2 weeks that you're gonna work with him?
It's 2 weeks that I'm gonna be with him. I have a transition document that's somewhere around 150 pages that gives him notes and projects. I'll be working with him. One of the first things we're gonna do is go through the budget. Make sure he meets staff, take him on a tour, you know, a more detailed tour than he was on before. Just try and get him comfortable before I turn on the fire hose for him to drink from. And I'll always be available by phone if he has any questions. And so my first day of real retirement will be the 7th of November. My birthday.
Well, thank
What a
you.
good birthday present.
Free from the bird.
I I appreciate you, Gordon, offering, that you're still gonna be around and you'll be able to help out. And
Yeah.
maybe we can come up with some type of, where you're paid or something where it's so many hours a month or something like that. I think given the budget, I agree with Brenda that it is a lot of money. I agree with everybody it is, but in staying within that budget where my mind thinks is that, okay, if we start them at 80, that's 10,000 below. So that's going to help the overlap with your salary and his at the same time. And then maybe that will offer some extra funds that we can, get you to come in if you get stuck for an hour or two, something like that. Come up with a schedule or whatever that you guys need to be successful.
I think that's not necessary. I will be happy to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get you on
Right,
council.
I was gonna get that.
We'll get you on council.
And Brenda will thank you for that.
Can't do that.
To that end, I will not. I will
We got
not.
that on tape, Gordon.
I will not
Yeah.
be on council. My wife would kill me.
So commissioner.
I will.
We'll figure out sometime.
No school board, no port, no city, no museum. No work.
Oh, don't draw the line in the sand. Look at Tom.
Gonna have you driving the boat is what we're saying.
I will not.
Okay,
All right, approved resolution number 1480, establishing policy for retirement gifts.
Kathy did a survey of all of the cities that responded to her on the city recorder listserv from around the state, and we developed this policy for retirement gifts.
I have a question pertaining to that.
Sure.
So the staff report says for a gift every 5 years of service and after serving for 10 years, but there's nothing
Yes.
in here.
That was
That's-
what the most of the other people do is, but we're talking about, it's a retirement.
So what
not
does
a
that mean?
resignation.
What does the retirement mean?
Means you're retired.
I mean, somebody could come in at 70 years old for a job and then retire in 1 year, so they're gonna get a $500 gift after
Up
1 year?
to, up to,
Okay,
that's gonna be the administrator and council's approval, but it would be up to 5. But, you
I mean, I'm
can't-
all for it, I just wanted
You can't-
clarification on the time frame.
Well, number one, you can't do any age discrimination. If somebody comes in that's 70 years old and they're the best qualified, good luck. And if they come in and they work hard for the city for a year and they prove their worth, give them a gift. That's really all it is.
Just don't give any more 500.
Exactly. Now, I want a nice watch. Nice.
So we got a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 1480.
I second.
Then moved in second to approve resolution number 1480. Discussion.
Your Honor, kind of ditto what Tamara says. I would like to see, like, what I can see happening is someone retiring with 20-something years and they get up to 500, and someone with 1 year retire and they get up to 500. I think that's, I don't know.
I think that the council would weigh that as far as the amount of the gift. If you have somebody that's been here for 30 years and they retire, they're gonna get a $500 a year.
If you had up to $500, the staff would make that decision, what the gift was and how what it went to. And
If you read section 1, an appropriate, thoughtful, meaningful, non-cash gift is to be determined by the city administrator in consultation with the department head and the employee. Gifts can include but not limited to such things as recognition event or providing gift cards for dining, lodging, or specialty items.
So it's kind of,
So
it's
So it
built in
won't come
there.
to council, it's gonna be between the city administrator and the department head, which
It's within the city administrator's financial authority.
So there's room in there for you guys to have a discussion about what's appropriate. That makes sense.
And what pot of money does this come out of, just so I can keep it straight in my head?
It would be the general fund.
Is there
It's probably under administration. You have miscellaneous line.
not city administrator slush fund?
So that's called an
Kinda.
expense account.
So any more discussion? Did you want to say anything, Kathy?
Nope, I'm good.
You good? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Oh, no. Roll call.
Councilmember Blue,
Here next.
Just kidding. Aye.
Fallon, Farrell,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wood.
Nay.
Mayor Kremlin,
Aye. Okay. And you're welcome, anytime somebody does a name, you're welcome to say why you did the name.
Oh, I think I'm good, I already
Okay.
said what I thought, yeah,
All right.
I think we
I'm
know.
okay with being out.
Gotta be. Welcome to it.
Okay, approved city attorney's personal service contract amendment.
As pointed out to me by Ms. Kathy Fallon, of the second paragraph, it's the rate of $150 per hour, not $150 per month. And that's for the retainer hours. Anything beyond the retainer hours would be $175 a month. Excuse me. See, it's a Freudian slip. I want to pay more. So that's it, $175 per hour.
For him to say that's a lot of money.
It is,
It is.
especially when I wanted to set some council meetings during all these changes and stuff, and, I mean, we're playing a flat rate. I think we should be using our attorney,
We are using it.
I know, I know, to draw the paper and stuff, but
It's his rate, even at $175 an hour, is extremely cheap.
yeah, I understand that.
That's the most important thing.
I paid $800 for a letter, so
Yeah.
I'm quite aware.
And he does several small cities, so we're able to piggyback on if we have the same kind of issues. You know, he doesn't repeat it. He does a nice job.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the city attorney personal services contract amendment.
We got a motion.
Second.
Okay, been moved and second to approve the personal service contract for Richard Rubin Cleveland to continue as our city attorney. Discussion.
Typo, and I'm good.
What was that?
Just fix the typo and I'm good.
Okay, I would just say, you know, having worked through three different city attorneys, groups on here, Ruben has done a really good. He isn't here all the time, but that doesn't cost you anything, because when we have an issue, we go to him, and he has done a good job with all issues. Now, the attorneys we had prior to Ruben, we had an outfit from Lake Oswego, wasn't it? Yeah. So and we're bringing them in here all the time. So you had to pay them to come in, you had to pay them to go. I mean, it was thousands of, these attorneys were gonna roll up thousands.
Yeah.
Ruben has protected, I have, in the time that I've been here, with all the things we've gone through a number of things on here. Ruben has done a good job protecting the interest and from the legal side for this community, and he does it very inexpensively in comparison. So anyway, that's my take. He's done a really good job for us. And he's been through a number of situations that we've had to deal with.
There's a lot of experience and knowledge of what,
Yes,
yes.
where the city's coming.
Mhm.
We can use some of that now.
Any other discussion?
I'm good with it.
Okay, roll call. Yeah.
Councilmember Blue,
Aye.
Fallon, Farrell,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wood,
I,
Mayor Kremlin.
Aye. Okay, so that's our action items, and now a time for citizens.
Hey, do you want me to come up?
Yeah, please,
There.
Oh,
let us know who we have, here, and
I'm Connie Kennedy Bacasio, and I know some of you, but not all of you, so it's very nice to be here tonight. My husband and I own a home in Windsong, Phase 1, up on the hill, so you probably heard a little bit about it, maybe not. Anyway, we all received a letter from Gordon dated September 13th, saying that we needed to form an HOA because there were CC&Rs that had been originally recorded through the city and through the county, and it requires that we do so, and we haven't done so, and so shame on us, and we better get busy and do it at least within 90 days. So when I got my letter, I put it aside and waited for somebody to contact me about how we were going to do this, because how do you establish an HOA? There's 40 homeowners or so there, I have no idea. So I waited a couple weeks, heard nothing. So then I started emailing Gordon, who was very kind to answer many of my questions. And since I've talked with Gordon or emailed him back and forth, I've talked with at least 8 homeowners in our association. And would you believe it, but nobody wants an HOA. Nobody. So that's going to cause some difficulties in establishing one. And so I understand, although I didn't know this was going on, that there was a meeting already held in which quite a few people also expressed their opinion that they don't want an HOA. Part of this is due to the fact that Osprey, you've got a difference of people depending on how long they own their home. But those that bought under Osprey were told, and I've heard this from at least 3 different people, and I know it myself too, were told there would be no HOA. And that was important to them. In fact, it's on declarations. When you sell a property and you have real estate paperwork, it's on there, no HOA. And now we find out there is an HOA and there are CC&Rs and we don't like them and we don't want to have an HOA. So what happens next, I'm not exactly sure, but according to I know that according to, because I've been online and read a whole lot, one of the things Gordon told me is that I said, how would I know that I was part of an HOA? He said, well, look under your title report. So the first time I got out my title report and read through it, I didn't see anything. So I read through it again, and lo and behold, under special exemptions, tax information, there's a section that deals with CC&Rs. Now, who would have seen that under tax information? I sure didn't, neither did anybody else. And when we went through our title report, it was not shared with us when we sat down with Mary, who I hear did all of the closings through AmeriTitle for Osprey. So anyway, so here we are, and we have like 90 days. And also Gordon's letter says the requirement for an HOA is further reinforced by city code. So I guess that I'm not quite sure how we get around this. I know several people are talking about lawyers and lawsuits, and I don't know that we would be suing the city, but I think they might be suing AmeriTitle or somebody else, but they certainly want to know how to get out of an HOA and out of this requirement. And when I look at this, it's further reinforced by city code. I remember so clearly that Osprey managed to get variances on lots of city codes. Like our streets don't all have sidewalks. They got a variance from your city code. Our street has a very, very narrow entryway. They got a variance from the city code. It said that if you had a county lane, you would have gravel areas on the side where you could pull over. Well, that didn't happen either. It also says that the city had certain requirements for lot sizes. They got a variance for that. So they've been granted various variances. So I think that we probably need to figure out how, maybe we can spend some of your lawyers' money on figuring out how we can do this and get out of this. Partially, I know that there is a requirement that we take care of the bioswale. Who knew? None of us knew that we had that responsibility. So none of it has ever been done. And there's a funny little lot that I guess is kind of a triangle that corners partially on Sheridan and partially on Windsong, that I haven't been able to figure out who owns that lot because it was never deeded to a HOA because there wasn't an HOA. So I think maybe Osprey still owns that lot, but it's listed as one of those things that we're supposed to take care of. And it's got trees on it. Some homeowners think that it blocks some of the wind and those trees are a good idea. And some of them don't, but I guess that's something you'd have to work out. And whether it's a hazard or not a hazard, I don't know how we figure that out. But I just want to come and say that I appreciated Gordon's his willingness to answer my questions. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I wanted you all to know that there is a lot of grumbling around. And there are a lot of very unhappy people. And it isn't necessarily unhappy at the city council. They're unhappy because this was not shared with them by Osprey when we bought our homes. And I can't speak to people that bought before Osprey had it. I did talk to one family that bought their lot somewhere in about 2008 or 2009 and built. And they said they knew about it. In fact, they were charged $200. What happened to their $200? We don't know. We don't know what happened to the $200. So if all the people, because there's more than just that family, I don't know how many people bought back then, and were they all charged $200? And what happened to their $200? Because the CCNRs say to begin your HOA, everybody has to pay $200. That's 40 homeowners and roughly $8,000, and some of them are already paid. Who knows where that money is? And if these people don't want to pay, and how do we decide who establishes an HOA? I mean, how do we even get people together, all 40 people? I've asked for addresses and names. I haven't got any. I can find the addresses. I guess I can knock on doors and say, what's your name? I'd like to give you an invitation to come. But there's nothing like that. This is a situation that's very, very different than anything that I have ever dealt with before. I have lived in a few communities that had HOAs. Some were good, some weren't so good. But they were already established. So I don't know how you start this, but I know there is a great deal of feeling that we don't want to join another HOA, which there is one very close to us in Chehala. And we don't want to be part of that. We would do our own. And of course, if there is a Windsong Terrace Phase 2, somehow they better get the information up front so that you don't have another 40-some homeowners that are faced with a letter from the city all of a sudden telling them they have to take care of certain areas in their land area, because they're supposed to actually have a park. If you have a park, you've got to have insurance, you've got to have a lot of stuff, you've got to have landscaping. So they're probably going to have to pay considerably more than we would have to pay to an HOA. So anyway, I just wanted to come and share that with you, and share that I will be one of those people that doesn't want to have an HOA and doesn't want to have CCNRs either. So in fact, as I said before, I haven't run into anybody that is positive about having an HOA or having to abide by these CCNRs. However, everybody that I've talked to realizes that if they disband, or if they can figure out, a lawyer can figure out how to disband this, that they have to be, we have to be responsible for that bioswale and whatever that little triangle is up there. And I don't know how that works out if somebody already owns it, because it hasn't been deeded to the HOA, because there's no HOA. So anyway, I just wanted to share that update with you, and so that you know that there is some concern out there, and hopefully you'll hear more positive things from us in the future.
Well, thank you for informing us on that. Yeah, I think I've heard some information about this, but I don't know anything about those kind of things either, but thank you, and I'm sure the council will want to try to get some answers to this.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
I'm Colleen Poole.
Yeah, come on.
I'm Colleen Poole. I live in the Winsong Phase 1 area also. My concern was, when I came to the city council meeting, when you guys approved the Winsong Phase 2 section that goes out and puts 75 more homes, we talked, when we talked then, the talk was that our homeowner association would be a part of that and that we would have to take care of the hill. When we all had a meeting on Sunday to try and discuss this, not everybody is against the HOA, like, not everybody knows that you can just say, I'm not gonna do it. So we're trying, I was one of the ones that signed the letter that came to you guys. Our concern is that the rules say that's 40 homes. We don't want the hill, we don't want the park. How can you force us into
Okay,
taking
so
care of that?
It's two separate things.
Correct.
The 45 homes, they're gonna have an HOA, they tear the hill, their little public spaces, and whatever else they're gonna do collectively.
Right,
They cannot. Osprey's original plan was to form the HOA when we did the entire development.
correct.
And if that's what they want to do, then they can do that. But the requirement was, and the condition of approval from the planning commission was for them to do the whole HOA altogether. But Osprey, in the meantime, has disincorporated, and they've incorporated for a different entity. So that puts the property ownership of the bioswale at that corner park in jeopardy, I would say. But it doesn't, because they don't have, Osprey doesn't exist anymore, they probably can't force the original Winsong Terrace into that HOA. You can form your HOA, and then after you form the HOA, you can change the codes, covenants, or restrictions legally any way you want to. You don't have to do color houses, you don't have to do what sidewalk you're gonna do, you don't. What that HOA does have to do is maintain the bioswale and the property on the corner. And it could be really, really cheap.
Correct. I totally agree. My concern was that we were being forced into those other 45 houses.
That's up to you, up to the people in Winsong, 40 people that we sent the letters to. You get to choose what you want to do. You can join the Winsong Terrace Phase 2, you can join Shahala, you can join your own.
Who's responsible for the setup fees of a HOA if it was in the city in 2008? So is it now?
Osprey was, but
So-
they didn't do it.
So we are responsible for now because they didn't do their job?
That's correct. It goes with the property, not with the entity that owns it. I mean, the developer that owns it. So, we're really sorry forcing you into doing this operation, but the city doesn't have the funding to take care of the bioswale and cut down some of those trees to make it a nice corner. That's the responsibility of the neighborhood.
And are there property taxes that have to be paid on that little corner?
Yes, they're minor.
Okay,
Who owns that corner?
Osprey Homes right now is listed as the owner, as they are with the bioswale.
and they haven't taken care of it,
Osprey doesn't exist anymore.
no?
That's the problem.
I've heard some.
Is somebody paying taxes on it?
Nobody's paying taxes on it. Which means after 6 years, they can foreclose on it and sell it, and that's gonna be a bigger mess. So that's why we wanted to get the HOA started, so that the neighborhood takes care of what's in the neighborhood. And it would, $5 a month. $200, that's $100, $1,200, $2,400 a year, which would be enough to have a contract for somebody to come in and take care of the bioswale in that property. That's all you have to do.
Mhm. It just hasn't been done in the right manner. All of a sudden, it's just dumped on us.
It's been there, it's been in your.
I agree, I'm
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the primers, so,
Yeah.
I knew it was always there, but it was never taken care of, it was never started.
Yeah.
So there wasn't
And-
anybody to even do anything with it.
And we're sorry about that, but that was a condition of approval for the planning commission. But we wanted to get this done before the next one comes in and doesn't do it. Because that's gonna be a bigger problem, trying to keep that hillside down.
That's right, we don't want that issue.
Yeah, exactly. You don't
We
want-
don't want, we need to do this before that happens.
That's correct.
We do not want to be part of that. All right, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Gordon, I had a question. Can I ask why this was overlooked for so many years, or what happened? Where'd the,
We've been trying to get Osprey to do it since the last 4 or 5 years, when we realized that they didn't do it because the bioswale kept getting worse and worse. And we actually sent some crews on there. We put the community service crews on there and cleaned it up for them once. And that's when we started talking to Osprey, hey, you gotta do it. And they said, we will do it when we do Osprey or Windsong 2. Well, now Windsong 2 comes along, hey, Osprey, you gotta go do this. Oh, Osprey doesn't exist
we
anymore.
have,
So that's why it got dumped into the lap of all of the neighbors. They needed to know that their responsibility is not being taken care of because the developer has dissolved.
do we have proof in writing that they said that they would take care of it and they were aware of it?
Yeah, if you look on our website under planning and conditions, there's a whole section on Windsong One Terrace development.
Okay. Well, maybe, have we asked them about it, even though their name has changed?
Yes, ma'am, that's part of the discussion with Windsong Terrace Phase 2.
Okay,
You did it to us before, you're not gonna do it this time. You're gonna map HOA before we approve the final plan.
right. And it sounds like some residents paid $200 and some did not. So hopefully they have some type of record of that. That is quite the mess.
But again, who are they gonna sue? Osprey is not incorporated in the state of Oregon anymore. So,
Hmm. Sounds
Can I
like an
just ask a
attorney
question?
question.
yeah, their attorney.
Hmm.
So what if they develop this HOA and they're taking care of these two pieces of property, and then after 6 years, you said the taxes not being paid, then
No, and when they make the HOA, then the property will get transferred to the HOA. It will be there.
will they have to pay all the back taxes as well?
I'm sure that, I wouldn't be surprised.
I bet.
Where does it say that it will be transferred to the HOA?
The HOA has to have responsibility for the properties that they're taking care of. That's what this is
Okay,
all about.
but there's nothing in writing that says it has to be transferred to us and that we owe the tax. Is that
Well,
correct?
you go talk, I have no idea. That's an attorney question I need to ask you. But it's the responsibility for the swale, bioswale, and that corner property belongs with the facility.
Unless we don't pay the taxes and then it's yours, right? Do I
And
understand that right?
probably true, and then we'll put a special rate on your utility bill where we raise the money. I don't know, I have any idea.
Can you guys hear me?
And who is this?
My name's Clayton Good. That meeting that they were talking about, we had submitted a letter. Anyway, I just wanted to, first of all, say that in the CCNRs, it specifically says the applicability of the CCNRs is Windsong Phase 1, and then it has an appendix clearly stating that it's Windsong Phase 1. So I don't think that there is applicability to Phase 2. I think that that's a misrepresentation that we should stop telling people, so that people are going to get confused by that, by thinking that there's any sort of legal implication. Maybe Osprey guys told you guys that at some point in time, but that is not in the CCNR. So we should stop that now, because that's just misinformation. It clearly states in there, this is applicable to phase 1 and 40 lots, and it shows the 40 lots, not phase 2.
That's correct, but the people behind Osprey are developing phase 2, and they also have to have an HOA. Doesn't mean it's the same HOA.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I just wanted to make sure that that was very clear, because I was reading through the meeting minutes on the June 3rd meeting, because I didn't even know that meeting happened. Seemed to me like maybe the HOA should have been called to that, and that would have been a good time to find out there wasn't one. But I only found out about that meeting after the fact, that we're already going on as if this HOA, under the assumption that it existed when everybody knew that it didn't exist. Well, in fact, it actually does exist. I've actually found online through the Oregon Secretary of State, there is an HOA. There was an HOA when Harb Engineering owned it. They had an HOA. And now there's another one, and it's under the name of Dan Weisner, and he's the guy on the name of the plat that I see for plat 2. So I see Dan Weisner's name on that, and I see a letter that I got as a homeowner from Dan Weisner making the HOA all voluntary. So I'm totally with the first lady that was speaking. Curious to know how it is. I would like to basically find out what's the process to have a meeting, maybe like a planning commission meeting or something, to where we can say the various things that we were told. I understand that you're saying that Osprey doesn't exist, but they can't legally own property if they don't exist. I also think there's probably a performance bond on them, on their contract, that we probably should be trying to, get access to if they're going to be deceitful in what they're saying. And so I would like to know, have they walked away from this contract? In the CCNRs, it says they have to file a notice of termination of declarant interest. Have they filed that?
You have all the information that's on the city website. That's all we have.
Okay, so basically stuff that we need to take up with Osprey. Okay, so yeah, I'm curious to know if they have, and I understand that, and I'm not trying to take it on you guys as a city, but it's definitely just totally shady and totally wrong. And I believe that they probably do have a performance bond, and I'm curious to know if it's been released. Did they have a performance bond, and have they released it? Has it been released back to them?
They did have a performance bond, and it's been developed long enough that they did everything they were supposed to do except for the HOA. I'm sure we released it.
Okay, and what is the process if we did want? So at this point in time, I think everybody's still kind of thinking about what we can and can't do, what we should and shouldn't do, what's going to be path least resistance. It's obviously plain as day in the CCNRs. We have to maintain that storm track. As long as the city's kind of just, offering the olive branch that, hey, just pare it down to just that, and let's just move on. I think some people might be looking to that path least resistance, and others are just furious because we have all sorts of documentation of what I would say is deceit. And I don't want to, speak. I'm not a lawyer. A lawyer has to prove that or whatever, but, and all that stuff. But some of us want to be able to come and speak that before a planning commission, if that's even, worthwhile to do. We're not quite sure. So we're all thinking, and basically we just, at this point in time, before any action, we just kind of want to know what's the process if we did want to request a hearing or something with the planning commission.
As Connie has done, and Colleen has done, you're welcome to come to the council. The planning commission will not take anything up because it's not an application for a new land use decision. It's already been decided by the previous planning commission, and it's in the decisions. Notice of conditions that were done when the original application was approved. But talk to an attorney collectively and figure out, I agree with your path of least resistance. You just have to figure out how you can make an HOA that is as simple as you can make it, as cheap as you can make it, but so that you still maintain where the runoff comes off of from your neighborhood down into the bioswale, and for that corner lot that is you can't build on that lot. So you got to figure out how to maintain that. That's all we're asking.
Okay, and if let's just, how does Osprey own property if they're out of like? Do they like they just? I guess you're saying they don't exist, but I'm curious to know the legal status of Osprey Homes.
We have checked with the Oregon Secretary of State, and they are no longer listed as a corporation in the state of Oregon. So the county has them as the owner of record, but if they don't exist, that's all I can tell you. If you go to the county, they say that's who they have.
They're not doing-
Who's building phase 2?
I don't know their names, but it's not Osprey. It's the same people.
Visionary Homes. Visionary Homes. And this name, Dan Weisner, the same guy who released us, quote unquote, from our HOA, is on it.
Okay, we need to move on, but
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you
all
guys for your time. This is not anything against you guys. So thank you for letting us
Thank
speak.
you. Thank you.
Gordon,
Got a
wait,
question?
I have a question. I do have a question. If the city released the bond, it's saying that they performed when they had not with the HOA, have we looked into that? Is that
Bonds
a,
are the bond is an infrastructure issue, not a legal issue. It's like if they built the sidewalks or they built the roads to the specifications required by the planning commission. That's all that.
so HOAs are not included in that?
It may be, it should have been probably, but it wasn't because we had Dan Weisner's Osprey Homes saying that they would form the HOA when they did the second phase. That's all I think.
Okay. So let's move on to reports and presentations.
Thank you.
City committee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any got city committees? Just one simple thing. Okay, city administrator report.
Thank you. Brenda, the pad will be poured for the booster pump this week, hopefully Wednesday. Just a reminder, the Bradford Island Superfund project meeting is going to be here on October 19th. Office hours update. Deputy City Recorder Marilyn Place and City Recorder Kathy Woosley are going to their City Recorder Conference this year. They're leaving tomorrow and they'll be back next Monday. And Carrie Gobin is expecting a grandchild. I have no idea what number of grandchild that is. Which one? 7, 8? And so she's going to be, if she gets a phone call, she's going to be running out of the office, which leaves Dave and me. And I have a dental appointment Wednesday afternoon, which leaves Dave. So what we're doing to make sure that we have breaks is we're going to close the office for an hour in the middle of the day every day, so we can go get lunch and whatever we need to do between the 9 to 5. We'll probably close from 1 to 2, the same hours that the post office is closed.
That'd be good, that way.
So people, if they're on the lunch hour, they want to come and pay a bill, they can pay it, 12 to 1. So that's the office hours update. That will only last until somebody returns,
Monday.
or if Carrie comes back on Friday or whatever. Dumpster days, since we aren't able to have dumpster days because of the space constraints with our wastewater project, Whatever Garbage is offered to send coupons to the residents, that a voucher that will allow them to dump up to 3 yards for free at the Hood River transfer station in Hood River between October 14th and October 22nd. That will be going out to them in the mail. Solid waste collection ordinances. Working with the city attorney, we've crafted an ordinance amending our current solid waste ordinance that will incorporate the roll carts, the required service, garbage service for the city. Because it's an ordinance, it will require 2 city council meetings to pass, so we have to look at the timing. At the second meeting, a resolution must be passed increasing all rates by $7 per month in order to pay for the roll carts and the associated equipment and trucks required to handle those carts. the city will also either need to amend the current agreement with Hood River Garbage. We have 5 years remaining on it, and the bank needs to have 7 before they will finance a truck to come down here to do that. So we'll either have to craft a new agreement or just extend the current agreement. So it's 7 years. And since we're approaching the beginning of a new calendar year, we'll also need to pass the annual rate resolution for garbage service. Before we put all that in motion, I want to make sure this is what you want. Now, we can start the process, we can take public comment at any city council meeting, and you can stop the process anytime you want to. Nothing's going to start open for garbage until all of that is accomplished. The ordinance, the 2 meetings, the 2 resolutions, and the extension of the agreement. So I'm looking for direction. That's all I'm looking for. You want to go down this road, or do you want to hang on?
Once you move to those carts, federal government no longer take a standard route.
That's correct.
Right.
Also, we remove.
They're on your weight thing,
It's all or nothing.
and the lids will stay on them.
Okay. There's about 20 Facebook posts, just go away.
Yeah.
I see increasing all rates by $7 per month. But how about somebody that only gets picked up once a month,
$7.
to somebody who gets picked up 4 times a month?
$7, because that's the cost of the
Yeah.
roll cart and the accrued collections for payments for the truck.
If I have 2 roll carts, 14.
14. Okay, they're,
I was thinking,
2 roll carts of the same size. You have the 65-yard garbage or the 95-yard recycling. We'll all have 2.
Yeah,
One for recycling and one for garbage.
Okay.
But that's $7.
$7.
If you have 2 accounts, if you have 2 95 and 2 65, that's 14.
It's not 65-yard or anything.
Fair. 60,
That's-
yeah, 65.
and our cans will be bigger too.
It's like.
So that's the other part, the cans will be bigger.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you one more shot before we hop down this road. You want to think about it? Back next time?
it's not anything I need to think about, but I'm
Yeah.
a short timer here, so I think that's something you can start moving forward with, especially since you gave us all the options to stop midway or whatever, like.
Cause how much is our normal rate increase is gonna be,
We won't know that until the
right,
the landfill.
Where typically it goes up around 10%.
No, it's typically the consumer price index, the CPI rate. Well, this year.
That might be close this year.
This year,
Yeah.
you know, we're running on 8.3 right now.
So I say 10.
You know, it's going, that's something to think about. You're gonna have the 7 on top of everything. And even if we have a 10%, it's not $7. It's not 10% on the $7. It's 10% on the base, and
Mhm.
$7 for the cart. So you're not overlapping, you're not double counting on that increase. And we're not gonna know that until the end of November, beginning of December. And you can, if you want to, you can wait on all of this and do it all then. It's just that we just delayed the roll
everything.
card implementation for 2-3 months, which is fine. But then you have the opportunity to look at it, doing it all at once.
We have how many customers? 400 and some? We have 500 and some customers?
We have 550 housing units. Some of those are combined, you know, in the apartments and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how many.
And you'd be asking every one of them for $74 a month.
Is there a way, I know you said we could have a public where they could come here. Can we post stuff like at the post office and the store? That way
I could even put this summary in the newsletter.
that would be great. That way, if they have, I think we could pursue it. If they have anything to say about it, please come.
Newsletter sounds great.
Yeah,
I think you will hear about it.
oh, I'm pretty,
This is one of those opportunities to,
but a
when
lot
the
of people.
public comes in and talks to you about something.
Yeah, but a lot of people are tired of their garbage, because then you don't have a lid, because you can't find it, so now you have a can without a lid that gets rained in, because you, I mean.
Just run over.
It's run over,
Exactly,
stolen,
so-
somebody else lost there.
I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people will be for it, but, you know, you don't know. Hard to say.
Well, you're the biggest proponent in here of money issues. I guarantee you're gonna hear a whole lot of rents out there. But I think that we should go through, I think.
We should go through the
I think
process
it's
and
important to
see.
go through the process,
Yeah, that's what I think.
because you get the least,
Picking down the road to the next council.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Jordan's watching this meeting right now going, just do it, just.
I think we should do it.
Kathy has a question.
that having,
Just a comment, if there's something that we could, I like the idea of advertising at the post office and then also social media. If we could do that, at least a couple notices. I know sometimes when you post things on social media, if we do it once, people will miss it. But maybe if we could post it a few times before the meeting, that way, hopefully we'll catch a few that have interest and want to come if they have any voice in their opinions.
It will be on the council agenda, and that's what it's posted. So.
he's asking, how do you wanna
down the road,
proceed?
I
Proceed with it?
proceed.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheaper than buying cans.
got it.
Next week's the League of Oregon Cities Conference, and Jeremiah, Kathy, Butch, and I will be attending. And then I put 2 pieces of information for you on our enterprise zone, just to show you the successes that we've had doing our enterprise zone. And that's my report.
Right. Thank you. Okay, mayor and city council comments. We're gonna start with you, Kathy. Comments.
I think I'm unmuted. There we go. Tom, can I go last?
Can you go last? Sure you can.
Cool, thank you.
You're up.
Not a lot. I'm really excited that we're moving forward with the city administrator. I'm really excited about Jordan and everything that he brings, the direction everything's headed. Can't wait to get him into this first meeting. Also excited about League of Cities. That should be exciting. Spent a little time with Butch and with Kathy and with Gordon there. Also had a good opportunity to meet with Jenna Miller today. I think Butch will probably talk about that a little bit more, but she's looking to do some really exciting stuff. Me and Butch got to be a part of that conversation today, so I'll let him talk about that a little bit. I think that's it. Send it on down.
I was talking with the librarian here in town. And just a heads up that they are planning on doing movies in the library. So she's trying to get all that put together, and I told her I thought that was great. As some of you might have noticed that the blessing box is back up. I just bought paintbrushes and I will be fixing it up a little bit. It got kind of yucked up when it got knocked down, so I'm just letting you know that I'm on that. And that's all I got.
Is that this one? Movies in the library?
Yeah.
Cool.
I want to thank Connie and Colleen for coming out and talking about what's on phase 1. Thank the staff. And thank Hood River Garbage for, since we aren't able to have dumpster days because of the treatment plant redo that we're doing, that we have the coupons to be able to haul stuff there. Also wanted to get an update on the fire hydrant.
Still wait for Gordon.
And then Forest Lane, do we know what's going on with the speed things?
Yes, after they get done with the concrete work that they're doing this week, that they're gonna turn their attention to what the posts are in.
Where are they putting them at?
One's down across Catani Lane for the westbound, and the one at the east end of the Cascade Motel for the westbound, or for the eastbound.
I think we're gonna, and I'll bring it up another time, but I think we need to talk about getting another one as well, because by the time they get all the way down here going westbound, they're going.
Yes, but
And that's
put
a-
one there, westbound near your house, it's too late. It's.
It was very, but it was very effective when we put one out there. It was very effective in slowing the traffic down.
But we put it down to where the people coming down off the hill, coming out of County Lane, will all
Mhm.
see, this is the,
Yeah,
so that's where the city engineer recommended. put it.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then, the other thing I had was Forest Lake, and I think that's it that I have. What's that?
I'll go to Jeremiah one first. This morning, we had a meeting over at the church. Myself, Jeremiah, Brittany, Jenna Miller, Sharon Dean, Bev Bennett, and Pastor Clint about a daycare center. And Jenna Miller, who had a Girl Scout troop prior to COVID, is now searching for a place for a daycare center, and the church was brought up. She had used our church before, and now we're working with the port and with her to try to create a daycare center at the church. It'll be for 6 months to 4 years of age, and about 10 to 12 children. So we got to get some inspections done, some certifications done, and may have to get some grant money somewhere, but we're in the process. It started. So hopefully we'll have a daycare center here in Cascade Locks. And I'd like to thank Jeremiah and Olga for starting this off and helping out. And hopefully we can complete it, because it is a desperate need that we need here in Cascade Locks. My other thing, I want to come back to last meeting, and Fire Chief Logan and his vehicles, as I keep thinking about, we need to upgrade his truck. And there's gonna be 32,000 left over after the purchase, and the purchase of the ambulance. After we sell it, we might get about 10,000 out of it, and then selling his vehicle, maybe another couple thousand. So we're looking at about $44,000 there. I looked at used fire command vehicles that are online now, and you can get a real nice one for $25,000. I feel we need to upgrade his vehicle for a number of reasons. One, we always talk about retention and keeping our good players. This guy's a superstar and we want to keep him. So getting him, upgrading his truck is a reward for him, and we need to reward him. So I want everybody to think hard on that. And the money that was being used to purchase the new ambulance was ARPA money, correct?
That's correct.
So we have to stay within those ARPA guidelines
That's correct.
on money. So continuing with the purchase of an upgrade vehicle for him would be under those ARPA guidelines.
Yeah, we have the entire amount dedicated to the fire department. Which
Yeah.
is under the fire department.
But,
We're okay.
I just think we need to get this vehicle for it. So that's why I'm pushing hard on it. And I'd like to thank staff for all their hard work and for Colleen and Connie for being here. And I've received a few complaints about the Columbia Market not taking cans. And their machine being broken, and then they refuse to hand count. So,
And what would you like us to do? I'm not gonna go
It's
down.
not a city problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
they
broken.
can call I think if you sell bottles and cans, you're required to take cans.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, they're required.
So someone needs to call.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So who do we call?
I would start with whatever phone number's on the bottle return.
Oh.
Or just, I would, look it up. I don't know offhand.
DQ or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I got.
Kathy,
Okay. So if my speech is a little off, it's because I'm numb and I've had a bunch of dental work, so yeah. So first of all, thank you to the city, of course, all the hard work. Thank you, Gordon, for negotiations with the contract. Good job. I'm looking forward to having Jordan start, and I'm happy with the, what is it, 120 pages, Gordon, you have? I don't know. It sounds like you've a lot. I really appreciate you taking the time to come up with not only a timeline, but, a book of all your guidance on that as well.
Well, I hope it's long.
Have high hopes. Picnic with Denise, her and I have been compiling all the information, so we should have by next meeting all the results from the survey from the community picnic. So pretty good stuff and a lot of hard work. So thank you, Denise. She's done an amazing job. And then let's see, last week I attended the lock meeting. Was it last week or week before, Gordon? I don't know, but in Mosier, and that was really informative. It was really good. Looking forward to the lock conference next week in Bend, and I've signed up for all of the classes, so looking forward to that as well. And let's see what else. Gordon, I had a question. Are all of our neighborhood sign watch, are they up? I was thinking we might, I know I've been getting a lot of questions and people have seen them and they don't really quite know what they are or what to do with them. So I'm thinking it might be helpful maybe if we have a meeting or something set up to where we can, community can voice their, I guess, concerns and then maybe have some guidance on how to use these signs. So maybe we can get that on the agenda topic about that.
We did put it in the newsletter.
Okay.
And last month, and we could put it in the newsletter again. Again, it's just an effort to remind people to watch out for your neighbors. And
Okay.
if you see something, call the cops.
All right. Can we print the non-emergency number in the newsletter? Did we do that last time?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Can we do it one more time? I keep getting all these questions about it. Maybe a good reminder. Let's see. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So my tooth does not want me to talk anymore. So, all right. But thank you very much to everybody.
all right, thank you. I would just say from the chief's rig there too, I recall a time on the council where engine after engine was being blown up by a chief. And this one's never been blown up. So that tells me that somebody takes care of their rig. They're not running in the manner that was being run back in the day there. So for me, I got no problem getting behind a rig if this one has been, they had this one, I mean, it was used when it started with, and they've used it several years now. So yeah, I'm behind trying to do something there too, if that money's okay with that, and everybody's on board with doing that, I'd be okay with that, because I think he does a good job. I think he has driven this vehicle in an appropriate manner, and yeah. I'm good with that type of thing. Also, I don't know if you've seen a lady around town in the morning, to see somebody going in the garbage cans with grippers and all that, and pulling cans out of our garbage can. Well, that person is her name's Nancy, and she's from Eagle Creek. She's the one at the camp host down there. And she has made, she uses all that money that she gets from cans for bicycle helmets. She is from cans alone. She has made this summer she doesn't go to Cascade, she goes all over the place here looking for on her time off. She made like $1,500, and all of that goes into bicycle helmets. She also donated a number of bicycle helmets for the kids who did the biking this summer here at Cascade. So she's donated helmets at Cascade Lodge. Yeah, so if you see her out and about, that's what she does. She'll have a name tag on, but she's a campground host. She's from Corvallis, but she's up here right now and doing that. So see her, you can thank her for that. Yeah, I'm good.
Kathy has.
Kathy. Kathy, you have a comment?
Yes, I do. Just a comment about Chief Logan's vehicle. I am completely supportive of a vehicle. However, I don't want to tell him what he must or must do in his own checkbook per se. Like, I don't know if I think that's a decision that he needs to be heavily involved in, because if it means him not getting certain equipment that's on his list, then he might think differently. So I think it's great. We're all supportive of a new truck. He absolutely needs one. But at the same time, I would just, I'd like to see him heavily involved in that spending process of what's in his budget.
And that goes without question. We wouldn't, we are not gonna pursue on the chief how he's gonna spend things. So, yeah, that'll be asked of him. But I got one other thing here too, because I've got questions with BKI, what we're gonna do here power-wise. Is there a chance that we get BKI in here and with some kind of light, because they already know our whole system, what we got going on, they're our outfit. And I'm not, my thought on it doesn't seem to me that we should get rid of the Snyder substation, but I'd like to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing on that.
When we bring the contract to you, we'll have BKI here to talk about it.
Okay, but one of,
I've
part of my,
I've already voiced that to them.
okay, all right, so they're aware of that.
They are aware of that.
Okay.
But as Guy Colburn, our project manager, said, he's going to give us the best system he can give us that we can maintain and move forward with.
Okay,
And it may be two parts, but we're not going to give up the easement for the pyramid. It just may not be with it, because the original costs were done in 2019. And when we know we're not going to be able to keep everything up for the $3 million that we projected in 2019, because those costs, it's going to be more than that. So he's going to give us the best project we can get for the money that's available. But they can come, you have to come talk to us about it.
I'd like to have them come in and talk to us about it.
All right, we'll do.
So I've got some questions, my own on that project.
Okay.
All right.
So with that truck, that since it's his decision, do we let him know that, hey, if you want to buy a truck, you have our blessing?
I will be happy to respond to him and let him know the support he has from the council and the opportunities that he may have. We're waiting for the second payment before we buy the equipment. That's what, we're not going to buy anything other than the refurbished ambulance. After we go through the process that's necessary to purchase that. So, again, yes, he will be aware.
Thank you.
Very good. So other matters,
I have something for you.
okay?
This is from Councilor Farrell. My commitment to this city, voted as a city council member in November of 2020. It's been a great honor for me to represent residents. My family moved here in 1995 and Cascade lost its arms. Unfortunately, as life grows surprising, as in my husband passing away last December, commitments must be adjusted. Even with the great outreach from community members to care for Kiara while I'm attending city council commitments, I still feel resigning is the best decision moving forward for my daughter and me. Thank you for your understanding and support. Jennifer.
Ooh, wow.
Thanks, Courtney.
And that's all I have.
So I would just hate to see you go. You're an important part of, a very big, very important part of this council. But I get it. I get it. I get it. And I appreciate what you do for your daughter.
Tammy, I'm really sorry to see you go, but I completely support you in your decision, and you've had a heck of a last year. And so you've done an amazing job, and I just appreciate you, and I wish you continued success. And gosh, you're going to be missed, but I understand. I understand.
Wow. You're an important part of this. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And certainly thank you for your service. You've been totally dedicated to it.
I'll still come and give you guys a hard time.
Okay. Okay, I won't be here. Please do. Please do come in and come over.
You guys can sit on Zoom, eat popcorn and laugh.
Okay, any executive session stuff? So, roll call.
You don't have a motion.
No problem, adjourned.
I move.
Are we good? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're good, we're out of here.